Welcome back to Cooking with Tammy Live. I'm Tammy, and today I'm going to show you how to make my absolutely delicious, cheesy, meaty lasagna. And when I say cheesy and meaty, trust me, I'm not exaggerating. This lasagna is going to be packed with tons of flavor on every level. It's going to be absolutely mouth-watering and amazing. So without further ado, guys, let's introduce our ingredients and let's get started. We have our diced yellow onions as well as minced garlic, green onions. We also have red and green bell peppers, diced tomatoes, as well as some oil, of course. We have our adobo seasoning, as well as salt, onion powder, garlic powder, roasted garlic and herb seasoning, some red chili flakes. Yes, as they say, Arby has the meats, well, we have the seasonings tonight, guys. We also have some dried parsley, fresh cilantro, as well as chicken bouillon powder, smoked paprika, ground black pepper, and pasta sauce. I don't think I forgot to mention anything. If I did, as we cook, we're going to talk about it anyway. So without further ado, let's get to cooking. Alrighty, to this pan, we are going to add some oil because what we're going to do first is saute our veggies. We are going to saute our onions. Start off with doing that. Get these onions in the pan. Let's get it all. Let's get it all. Love the smell of onions. We're also going to add, but first we're going to mix our onions, incorporate it with the oil, allow those aromatics to be released, and we're also going to add our minced garlic. This minced garlic is going to give our meat so much flavor. The trick to making a really delicious lasagna is not the amount of cheese that you pack in there, but it's more so creating flavor from the base. The base of your lasagna is the meat. That's the main important thing. And if you create flavor in the beginning of the process, your lasagna is going to be absolutely delicious. All right, we're going to give it a good toss. And we're also going to add our green onions to the mix. Put this right here, turn this flame up, and get to sauteing. How is everybody doing? I hope everybody is doing great, absolutely great. And by the way, God forbid, if you're not, after you have this delicious lasagna, trust me, you are going to be doing absolutely superb. This lasagna is going to be life-changing. Give it a good mix. And what we're doing is we're actually sauteing the veggies until the onions are nice and softened and the garlic is toasted. And this process usually takes about, literally on medium high, about 2 minutes for everything to break down. It's one thing to create a lasagna that's just like, okay, for instance, you add about maybe 3 seasonings. Whatever you add to your lasagna is what you're going to get out of it. That's going to be your final product. If you put that work in there and you put that elbow grease into your lasagna, your lasagna is going to be the bomb. There's no other way to say it. It is going to be everything. And did I forget to mention the star of the show? We have our ground turkey. However, this is a universal recipe. Don't get scared. You can also use ground beef or even ground pork or even ground chicken, whatever you prefer. For this particular recipe, it's going to be ground turkey. Get it all in there. This is so cool because it helps to break down the ground beef. Or should I say the ground meat, not just beef, but any type of ground meat. It works really good. And then once we get it all broken down, then of course we could go back in with the spatula and get to stirring and incorporating and all that cool stuff. But for now, we are just going to break it down. Perfect. Perfect. And now we could go in with the spatula and get to work. Because what? We came to work. We did not come to play. We came to make some delicious lasagna that's going to make everybody who eat it say, wow, what did you put in that lasagna? If you go to church and you take a pan of this to church, everybody's going to say, hallelujah. It's going to be that good. Absolutely delicious. And it all has to do with adding those ingredients from the beginning, not at the last minute, or just by adding 1 or 2 ingredients. That's corny. Can't do that. You gotta make this thing flavorful. Can't have no boring lasagna. All right, we are gonna continue to incorporate the onions and the scallions, also known as green onions, and the garlic into the meat. We're just gonna fold it into the meat. And we are gonna allow this meat to brown. Our meat is brown and it is time to add our seasonings. Now, at this point, if you are using ground beef or ground pork, it may be a little bit greasy. So now is the perfect time to strain off the excess oil before adding the seasonings. I am using ground turkey, as you guys know, so there's nothing to strain off. Anyway, let's add our seasonings. First things first, we are gonna add a little bit of salt. Not too much because some of our other seasonings do contain salt, but we're gonna add just enough to give it some flavor. And of course, if you taste it and it's not to your liking, you can always go back and add the salty products, so to speak, or the salty ingredients. But for now, just gonna add that. We're also gonna add some adobo. Season everything lightly, just enough to coat the meat. That's the trick. Also, onion powder. It's about to call it garlic powder. Open up the other side and sprinkle it on. Next in line is garlic powder. Add that garlic powder. Just like that. As well as our roasted garlic and herb seasoning. Our black pepper, as well as our chicken bouillon seasoning or powder. If you have the bouillon cube, you can also use the bouillon cube as well, but I have the powder, and that's going to give it a nice flavor. If you're using pork, or if for pork, you could also use the chicken bouillon powder as well. If you're using, let's say if you're doing ground beef, you can add steak seasoning or beef bouillon. It's absolutely delicious. And we are also going to add our paprika, which is going to give it a nice color, and it's going to tie all the flavors together, as well as our red chili flakes. That's going to give it a little kick, not too spicy, because guess what? Kids love lasagna as well. And let me make sure, I think I got everything for now. What I'm going to do is we're going to give it a good mix, combine these ingredients together. Allow these ingredients to soak in and make our meat absolutely flavorful. This is going to be some tasty stuff. Did I forget to mention? No, I don't think so. I think I told you guys it's going to be delicious. It's going to be mouth-watering. It's going to be everything. All right, keep stirring. And by the way, this is 3 pounds of meat because we are making a big lasagna. Just take your time and incorporate everything. How did I come up with this recipe? Just with playing around with ingredients, basically. Just knowing, I don't know what it is, but for me, I just understand flavor. So it's easy for me to put together, just like for some mathematicians or scientists, it's easy for them to figure out certain things. When it comes to cooking, it's like really, like for me, second nature, to be honest with you. I just know if I put this seasoning with that seasoning, it's gonna come out banging. Yes. So that's just what it is. Make those seasonings complementary to everything that you make. When you sit down to have dinner, you're going to forget about all of the hard work that you had to put in to put this lasagna together. All right, next things next. We are going to add our sauce. Yes, add your favorite brand of sauce. Now, when it comes to the sauce, you don't really need measurements. What you need is to be able to submerge the meat and pretty much just have enough sauce to accommodate what's in the pan. You need it to be nice and guess what, guys? Saucy. It needs to be absolutely saucy. You can't have the meat dry because guess what? You're gonna layer it with your noodles, or should I say with your lasagna noodles. So you don't want a dry sauce. You want your lasagna to be nice and meaty, cheesy, and saucy. Not to mention flavorful. All right, we're gonna add some more sauce. Don't be afraid, just add the sauce. Add the sauce. Add a little bit more. And I think we've got enough. We're gonna add our cilantro to the mix, and we are going to combine the cilantro. And I forgot to also mention, not just fresh cilantro, but it's also fresh parsley in here as well. We are going to add our dried oregano. We're gonna add a little bit of sugar because guess what? I don't like heartburn, and the sugar, as I mentioned before, is going to work as a neutralizer to take away the acidity, basically is what I'm saying, out of the acidity of the tomato sauce. Does that make sense? The sugar is going to work as a neutralizer to neutralize the acidity in the tomato sauce. We don't need heartburn. We need to be able to eat tons of this lasagna and enjoy ourselves without having to like literally deal with heartburn like 3 hours later. Oh no, sorry, Bob, we're not dealing with heartburn. No, we need to enjoy our food. No antacids. Okay. And guess what? Your sauce is not going to be sweet. So if you think it's going to take away from the acidity as far as changing the taste, trust me, it's not enough sugar to do so. Now, if you're adding a whole bag of sugar, a whole 5-pound bag, that's different. But we just added basically about a tablespoon of sugar, if not half a tablespoon. As I mentioned earlier, we said that this lasagna is going to be meaty, right? You just can't have one meat if you want your lasagna to be meaty. We need to have, guess what? Sausages. I know all of my like literally meat lovers and sausage lovers are like literally going crazy right now. We're gonna add this meat. My mouth is watering, so guess what? I'm sorry, I gotta take a piece. All this cooking is making me hungry. Wow. Kielbasa smoked sausage. I believe it's beef, pork, and turkey. All three. And it is so flavorful and delicious. Wow. And I know it's just gonna literally, by the time everything breaks down, it's gonna make this meat sauce taste even better. It's gonna have a contrast of flavors. Wow. Okay. Next things next. Without making a mess, we are going to add our bell peppers to this mix. Now, here's the thing. Oh, you're adding too many veggies for those non-veggie lovers. By the time these veggies break down, you're not even going to be able to taste it. You might be able to see it within the sauce minimally, but you're not going to be able to taste it. And in my opinion, this is the best recipe to make, especially if you're feeding kids and they don't like veggies. There's a lot of grown adults that don't like veggies. This is the perfect time to incorporate all of your veggies. I don't care if you have zucchini, put it in there. By the time the meat sauce infuses with the vegetables, you're not gonna taste it. And this is the best time to get all of those nutrients from the veggies. So just go ahead and add it. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna lower our flame to low heat. I'm gonna allow it to simmer for about 10 minutes because I want all of the flavors to literally infuse and marinate. And that's about it. When we come back, I'm gonna show you how to assemble the lasagna. In the meanwhile, I'm gonna work on boiling my lasagna noodles. Yes, when it comes to the lasagna noodles, of course, just follow the instructions on the back of the box because every brand is different. And that's just basically it for now. So anyway, guys, continue watching and I'll show you how to put everything together in 2 seconds. Look at how beautiful a lasagna is. It has been simmering for about 10 minutes and it looks and smells absolutely amazing. All right, What we're gonna do is now, as of this point, is we're gonna put this to the side. And we are gonna work on boiling our lasagna, and we're also gonna work on mixing our ricotta cheese. Our water is boiling. What I did was I added a little oil to the water because I don't want my lasagna to stick. We're gonna add it, just add it in there into the hot boiling water. And we are gonna take them out when they're not totally soft because we're not making mac and cheese. However, we are gonna take it out when it's nice and pliable. And we are gonna take it from there. However, we're gonna move right on to making our ricotta. And for my ricotta mixture, I'm just gonna break it down using my spatula, of course. And of course, if you don't wanna add ricotta to your mixture, it is totally up to you. But however, I will say this, you're gonna lose out on the richness of the flavor that this ricotta is gonna give to your lasagna. It provides a nice, rich flavor. It also reduces the acidity in the tomato sauce along with the sugar. So I would advise you to add the ricotta and enjoy some of the rich flavors. To this ricotta, I'm gonna add some eggs. I'm gonna add about maybe 3 to 4, depending on the texture. Give it a good mix. And at this point, we're just gonna combine, obviously, the eggs with the ricotta. And the reason for the eggs, it makes the ricotta more loose, so it makes it easier to spread whenever you're layering it onto your lasagna. I've always liked my lasagna with ricotta. To me, it tastes really good. It adds great depths of flavor and texture. Alrighty, to this ricotta, I am gonna add some spinach. Like I said, now will be the perfect time to incorporate all of the veggies as much as possible. Get those veggies in there. And this is gonna taste absolutely great. Incorporate it as much as possible. And of course, spinach is just like green, well, of course it's greens, but it's somewhat like collard greens. It breaks down really easily. As soon as the heat touches it, it like literally just shrivels up. It wilts really quickly. So it may seem like there's a lot of spinach in here, like, oh my goodness, you're not gonna taste it. And it wilts really small. It like literally breaks down really small. So far we have a good spread. The texture is perfect. And in this bowl, I have some Parmesan cheese, which we're gonna add. I also have some mozzarella cheese in here as well, because we want our lasagna to be nice and cheesy. Give it a good mix. Make sure the texture is perfect. This is gonna be something else. The Parmesan cheese has that nice nutty flavor and scent, so it adds to the ricotta cheese. And let's check on our lasagna. And this is perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Once the water is hot, honestly about 2 to 3 minutes is all we need, because guess what? Our lasagna noodles are gonna continue cooking in the oven anyway. So this is perfect. We don't want it to be hard, and we definitely don't want it to be too soft. I'm gonna add some more cheese to our ricotta mixture. Get all of that cheese in there. Incorporate it one more time. I am going to work, yes. Sometimes great food, they're easy recipes, but sometimes other foods, they take time to make. But guess what? Are you gonna complain about it, or are you just gonna make it and sit back, relax, and enjoy the flavors? I say sit back, relax, enjoy the flavors, and just make it and don't complain. Our ricotta spinach mixture is complete, so I'm just gonna set it to the side And I'm gonna remove these noodles from the hot water, and we are gonna assemble our delicious, meaty, cheesy lasagna once we come back. It's time for us to put this jigsaw puzzle together. So first thing we're gonna do is we are gonna take our meat, and of course, as you can see, I'm using a ladle because we need this process to go quickly. If you want, you can use a big spoon. We're gonna put some of our meat sauce into the bottom of the pan. It smells so good. It smells so good. I could smell the smoked sausages and everything. Wow. Bam. Once we're done, got that meat layered, we are gonna take our noodles and place it into the pan. Lay it as close as possible. And if you overlap, it's not a problem because we want all of our meat to be covered with the lasagna, just like that. That is perfect. Alrighty, next thing, we are gonna layer with our ricotta mixture. Lay it on, don't be afraid. We have more than enough. Just like that. As I mentioned to you, the ricotta gives the lasagna a nice rich flavor. However, if you want to subtract this part, totally up to you. You're the person that's eating it. Just continue to layer. Just like that. And guess what? I almost forgot to introduce our cheeses. Yes, in this bowl right here, we have a Mexican blend. We also have a mound of mozzarella cheese. And right here we have the Italian 6 cheeses, which consists of Asiago, Fontina cheese, you name it, it's in here. So as of this point, what we're gonna do is we are gonna take some of our 6 cheeses, add the Italian 6 cheese to the ricotta. We're gonna add some mozzarella because this is gonna be what? Cheesy, meaty lasagna. We're also going to add some of our Mexican blend. Along with our meat. Yes, we are. Add that meat. Just like that. When I tell you all of these flavors are gonna work together and they are gonna be best friends, this lasagna is gonna be so complimentary with tons of flavor, depths of flavor. Because guess what? We didn't take any shortcuts with making this lasagna, not one. Just like that. We're gonna take some more noodles. We're gonna add it to the top. I am hard at work. I'm focused. Just like that. Bring these to the front. Boom, bam. Take some more ricotta. This would make the perfect Sunday dinner or holiday meal, honestly. Christmas time, the family's coming over, and you make this lasagna, whoo, you are guaranteed respect. You will definitely be asked to make this every single holiday because it is that good. Spread it on, take your time. Okay, boom, that's perfect. We're gonna add some more meat. Ooh-wee. We have more than enough. So add as much as you need without hesitation. Everything is covered. I got a little spot right here that needs some meat. Add the meat, baby. All right. And now it's time for us to add our cheeses. We are gonna add some mozzarella cheese. Add a good amount at this point. There may be a scarcity in the supermarkets of cheese, but not when it comes to this lasagna. Add that cheese like cheese is in full abundance. Add it on because it's going to be nice and cheesy once the cheese starts to melt. You're going to get that nice cheese pull. Woo! What a good time in life. I want to make sure I get every little spot. This is the part you look forward to, the cheese melt. Right there. We're gonna go in with our Italian 6 cheese blend. Top it off with that as well. Boom, boom, boom. And we are gonna use our Mexican blend. And this is gonna give it a little contrast of color once the cheeses melt. And this is going to be absolutely beautiful. What I'm going to do is, before I put it in my preheated 350-degree oven, I am going to place a cookie sheet at the bottom of this because I don't want the cheese, the cheeses basically to overflow and cause a situation. So that's what we're going to do. Also, another trick and tip is I'm not going to put this in there uncovered. What I'm going to do is I'm going to either use another pan to cover it over. However, if you don't have an extra pan, what you can do is cover it over with aluminum foil. However, this is a very important part. Do not place the aluminum foil tight onto the lasagna because guess what? What's gonna happen when the cheese melt, guys? It's gonna stick to the aluminum foil. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do something called the balloon method, where we're gonna cover it, yes, but we're gonna leave like an air pocket in the middle. Cover it tightly around the perimeters, but leave an air pocket in the middle so that way when the cheese starts to melt, you're not gonna have all of your cheese stuck to the foil paper. You're not gonna be sitting there trying to pry your cheese or take your cheese off of the foil paper. You're gonna have it where it belongs, which is on top of your lasagna. Let me show you how to do the foil method just in case. All right, gonna grab the aluminum foil, obviously. We're gonna place it somewhere because we ran out of space. And we're gonna start by tucking it around the perimeter and taking our hands and just creating somewhat of an air pocket. Just like that. It's not easy to do. It's nothing complicated. It's very easy, guys, very easy. Let me slide this over. Make sure you got that air pocket up in there because we don't want no problems. And I'm gonna grab another piece of foil and do the same thing. And of course, you heard it here first. This is called the balloon method when it comes to wrapping your dish with foil. Just like that. Don't smush it in there. Don't say I didn't tell you. And that, my friends, is it. This is going to go into the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit because obviously my oven is already preheated. And I am going to put it in there for about 30 minutes. However, everybody's oven is a little different, so make sure you check periodically, possibly maybe every 15 minutes. However, when it comes down to the last part of the baking process, which is, I would say, honestly, about maybe 5 to 8 minutes, I'm going to take off the foil and allow it to brown just a little bit before I take it out of the oven. So once again, let's recap. Wrap it in foil or place an aluminum top on top of it, a cover, so to speak. Place it into the preheated oven. And then we are going to allow it to stay covered in there for about maybe, I would say honestly, maybe 30 minutes, but you're going to check periodically. Don't forget to check. During the last 5 to 8 minutes, we're going to take the foil off because we want it to brown just a bit around the edges. And yes, so with all of that being said, I am going to get this into the oven and I'm going to make another pan of this because as you can see, I have a lot more left. But what I will do is I'm probably going to boil some more noodles. And yeah, we're going to make more than one lasagna. Anyway, guys, continue watching and I'll show you what the final product looks like when everything is done. Nicely browned, crispy edges. I topped it off with a little dried parsley while it was in the oven once I removed the foil. And as you can see, we have the melted cheese. Everything is just wow. And also, I want to give a big shout out to my husband. He's always behind the scenes working hard, literally working diligently, help me to put everything together. Trust me, cooking with Tammy.recipes it may look easy once the video is edited and everything is up and out, but it's a lot of behind the scenes that a lot of people just don't know. So anyway, once again, big shout out to my husband for always being there and everybody else who works behind the scenes. And yes, our masterpiece is now completed. Yes, look at how beautiful. We have the nice brown crispy edges. The cheese is perfectly melted. And what I did was I sprinkled a little dried parsley on top for decoration. And it looks absolutely phenomenal. Our lasagna, trust me when I say it's gonna taste absolutely delicious, it's gonna be rocking. I'm gonna dig into this delicious lasagna, even though it's not set yet. And I would advise anybody before sharing to allow your lasagna to set first. That way, when you cut into it, the piece of lasagna is gonna look really, really nice in the old way. With all of that being said, it's time to show you guys what we are working with, baby. Look at this delicious cheese pull and meat and everything else. Absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, baby. Absolutely pretty. Absolutely pretty. And I am going to get an eating utensil. I'm gonna get a fork. And we are gonna taste our delicious lasagna. Cheesy, meaty, gooey lasagna. It is so hot, so I am gonna take my time with this one. Hey, big old chunky piece of meat. Now we talking. Guys, this is absolutely knock your socks off good. This is absolutely amazing. If somebody was to charge me $50 for this plate with this little amount right here, I would definitely pay for it because it is that good. The contrast of flavors and everything tied together is absolutely phenomenally delicious. My God. Not to mention the veggies and everything. You don't taste the veggies. Instead, like I said earlier, all of the seasoning and flavors are infused and everything just works really, really well together. Our veggies are well seasoned. The meat is absolutely mouth-watering and the cheese, Who doesn't love cheese? That cheese pull, the mozzarella, as well as the Parmesan cheese and the Italian 6 cheeses that we added, along with the Mexican cheeses. Perfect blend, guys. Absolutely delicious. Anyway, guys, I had to come back to do a taste test. It's only right. And of course, once this lasagna is set, I'm gonna cut it and I'm gonna post pictures and show you exactly what it looks like after it's set. Anyway, guys, once again, I'm out. Catch you in another video. Bye, guys.